Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste and good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be back here, to see so many familiar faces and so many new ones too. So revered Swami Sumanasanandaji, other revered monks, revered Matajis, and dear friends. The occasion, of course, is the 125th anniversary year of Swami Vivekananda's visit to California, to Los Angeles. He did two things in his life, primarily. One was he built this bridge for spirituality from India to the West, primarily through the United States, through specifically also California played a very important role. And the second thing that he did was to go back to his motherland and awaken India to a sense of its glory, its past, its spiritual nature. And all of this he did in 10 years. Basically, 1893, the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, and 1902, he was gone, less than 10 years. He would have been very happy with this, the subject of this morning. It is based on one of the most revered texts in Advaita Vedanta, the Yoga Vashishta. And the Yoga Vashishta itself is a huge text, more than 30,000 verses. And I haven't read the whole text, but read here and there excerpts from it. But there is a useful summary. The Yoga Vashishta Sara, literally it means the essence of Yoga Vashishta. The way I was introduced to it was more than 20 years ago. I met this remarkable senior Swamiji in our order, who has since passed, Kalipada Maharaj, Swami Sarvapriyananda. And he was remarkable for one reason was he was a committed non-dualist, Advaita and nothing else. And he liked people. If you liked Advaita, he liked you very much. And if he did like you, he would give you a book. And the book was the essence of Yoga Vashishta Sara, the essence of Yoga Vashishta. And this book is, it's a compilation, a selection from the 30,000 odd verses of the big, huge original text into 10 chapters, about 220 or 230 odd verses, in Sanskrit, of course, the original verses, but also translated with extensive notes by another senior monk of our order, Swami Dhireshanandaji, into Bengali. So what Swami Dhireshanji did was, he took this essence of Yoga Vashishta and translated it into Bengali and added copious notes, extensive notes, a lot of mine of information on non-duality, on Advaita Vedanta. It's a very useful manual. So this Swami, Swami Sarvapriyananda, Kalipada Maharaj, he would, if he liked you, he would present you with a copy of that book, and to sort of brainwash you into non-duality. I remember when I came here, just before I came to the United States and to Hollywood first time, this was in 2015, when I bowed down to him, taking leave of him, he said, I'm glad you're going there. Tell them about non-duality, about Advaita Vedanta. And just a couple of times I'd spoken with him over the phone before he passed. He was a man of few words. I mean, in his first appearance, he would strike you as being a particularly grim monk. So he just said to me that, I hear that you are you're teaching Advaita Vedanta. I am glad. That's all. Now, the problem was, I really wanted to talk about this book, which was so close to his heart, and I liked it too. I like that essence of Yoga Vashishta. But I was handicapped by the fact that there was no English translation. Now, thank God, Swami Sarvadevanandaji Maharaj, here in the Vedanta Society of Southern California, He worked hard to make a nice English translation. It's called The Nectar of Supreme Knowledge. And it's quite popular, so popular that it's very difficult to come by a copy. So now I talk about it and I recommend it to people too, continuing Kalipada Maharaj's tradition. All right, so what I'm going to talk about this morning is a beautiful, beautiful verse from that book. It's the very first verse of that book, where this amazing title of today's talk, the Limitless, Serene, Luminosity. It comes from that verse. And remember, limitless, serene, luminosity, as Maharaj said, what is that limitless, serene, luminosity? It's you. It's our real nature. So today's subject is to discover our real nature, to find out. Advaita Vedanta is pretty simple that way. It just says, it says some dramatic things. It says you are not what you think you are. And you need to find out what you are. And if you do, that's then a deep solution to all your problems forever and ever. You attain limitless fulfillment and transcend all suffering and trouble if you find out what you truly are. So this quest for what I am, one master said, it's like, what this quest is like. It's like trying to find your way home without ever leaving home. You are home, but you're trying to find your way home. And that's what it is. This verse, the original Sanskrit, is very beautiful, very, very sublime. It goes something like this. Dikkaladhyanavachinna ananta chinmatra murtaye swanubhutte kamanaya nama shantaya tejase. Let me attempt a translation. I salute that serene radiance, Shanta Tej. I salute that serene radiance. I bow down to that serene radiance, which is not limited by space and time, which is infinite, which is of the nature of consciousness only, awareness only, whose only proof, the only way to realize it, is itself. Swanubhuti ekamanaya. Only your own experience is the proof for that. That's what reveals it. So this is the verse. And we're going to go into it. Methodically, we will take a plunge into it. It's like a journey. Journey back home while you are at home. And you'll see at the end of this journey, you'll see it makes sense. Why is it like searching for a way back home when you are at home? Notice one thing. Let's make a beginning with our own experience. What experience? Any experience. Notice, just now we are sitting here and looking. We are seeing. And we are all aware. We are conscious. I'll use the words awareness, consciousness interchangeably. We are all aware right now. And before this, we were seeing something else. You're outside the hall. You're coming into the hall. You're seeing something else, the external world. Seeing different stuff. And that's a different experience. Being inside the hall is a kind of an experience. Being outside the hall is another kind of experience. Seeing different stuff, having different experiences. But you were aware. You were conscious. And the point I want to make here is the first insight. That awareness is the same. The awareness which you have right now, by which we are aware of this, is exactly the same awareness by which we are able to see the external world. What we saw changed. The nature of our experience changed. But the claim I am making is that awareness did not change. It seems it changed, but what changed actually is the contents of awareness, the contents of consciousness changed. But not consciousness itself, not awareness itself. Think of it as this light. It shines, revealing whatever is here right now. And you could empty out this room, the same light would keep on shining, revealing a different picture altogether, an empty room. And a different set of people could come in, same light would be there, revealing a different picture altogether, a new group of people, and so on. So whatever we see, the objects change, then our experiences change, but the light behind all these experiences, that light, that luminosity, that awareness, that consciousness is the same. And why only seeing? When we hear, right now we are seeing, but also hearing. It's the same awareness which gives us the experience of hearing. Hearing is so different from seeing, and yet it's the same awareness which gives us the experience of hearing. It's the same awareness behind all our tasting and touching and smelling. In fact, all our sensory experiences, the experiences of the five senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, it's all lit up by the same light. That luminosity. It's very easy to get a feel for it. It's always present. Somebody said a very nice phrase for it: never not here. Always here, but never not here. And in a negation, you can't negate it. If you negate it, you say not here. That luminosity is gone. How do you know? You are that luminosity. That's why you know. Even the absence of consciousness, to talk about it, you have to be conscious. Absence of everything is understandable, but absence of consciousness is not understandable. Absence of awareness is not understandable in the sense I am talking about. There's a sense in which we can become unconscious. In the sense, when we use the word unconscious, what do we mean? We don't see anything, hear anything, smell, taste, touch anything. We are not thinking about anything. But I would claim, Vedanta would claim, Advaita, Vedanta, Yoga Vasishta would claim, even then this light is there, which reveals the absence of everything. That light. And it is there not just in our sensory experiences. It is there in our emotions. When you feel upset, you're aware. You can't be unconscious and feel upset. And say, oh, I'm terribly annoyed. So do you feel that annoyance? No, I'm unconscious. I don't feel anything. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. To feel pain, you must be aware. To feel pleasure, I'm so happy. Oh, you're feeling happy. No, I don't feel anything, but I'm very happy. It is ridiculous. It's not possible. You're aware. When we feel happy, you're aware. When you feel sad, you're aware. When we feel, melancholy, excited, bored, we are aware. The same light is there. It is the same light behind our sensory experiences, the same light behind all our emotions, and the same light behind all our intellectual activities, the buddhi, the intellect. I don't get it. I'm aware that I'm not getting it. I get it, eureka. I'm aware that I got it. Awareness is there. It's that experience, gives you that experience. Behind memory, I am trying to recollect. I can't remember. I'm aware that my memory is failing. I was just saying, our senior most member in the Vedanta Society of New York is Bill Conrad. 2 weeks back, he celebrated his 100th birthday. And he's been coming to the ashram since 1955. The first time he came to the ashram, Swami Sarvapriyananda was there. And he came and heard Swami Sarvapriyananda's talk, and he said, I want to become a member. And the Swami Sarvapriyananda said to him, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to keep coming for at least a year. Let me see if you keep coming. Then you can become a member. And Bill said to him, very typical Bill, said to him, that won't be necessary in my case. And he was right. 1955 till today. Yeah, continuous. Now he can't come every day because he's shifted to an elder care facility, but otherwise, until 2 years back, he was coming, 1 year back, he was coming every day. So memory, he says to me, my memory is failing. My memory, Swami, is not what it used to be. I said, Bill, I'm just over half your age. And my memory isn't what it used to be. Don't worry. You are the same awareness. You're aware of your sharp memory and you're aware of your memory failing. You're fine. He said, he's difficult to convince. So he said, that's easy to say, Swami. It's still uncomfortable. So memory, the experience of remembering stuff and the experience of being unable to remember stuff. When we are unable to remember stuff, doesn't mean that we are not aware. It's because I'm aware that I can't recollect. Awareness is there. In our intellect, in our memory, in our desires. When we want something, awareness is there. When we don't want something, awareness is there. When we love, when we hate, when we enjoy, when we suffer, awareness is there. Consciousness is there. That light, luminosity is there. In all our waking life, that light shines. And when we fall asleep at night and then dream, What lights up the dream? No, there's no electricity inside your head when you see a world. You're seeing the world. There's no sun there. There's no moon there. It's that light, your consciousness, by which we experience the world. I was just a few days back in Houston. Hurricane Beryl hit us. And of course, without light, I hear they are still without light in some parts. So nearly a week now. That was my first experience of a category, but they were blasé about it, that, it's category 1, it's no biggie. We just lose power for a week. A few people will die here and there, and some parts will get flooded. Yeah, but it's true, they have been hit by worse. But electricity goes up. So what lights up? Then it's all dark. I remember the last talk I gave, it was dark. The speaker and the audience disappeared into darkness. And it was a hot darkness. It's over 90. Luckily, they said, we are lucky it's not too hot. It's over 90. And no air conditioning, no lights, no microphones. And we still had a talk, question answers, candlelight dinner. Everything went on. It doesn't faze them. What lights it up at night? So in the dark, when the speaker is there, you can't see the audience, you can't see the speaker, you can still hear the words. By what light do you hear the words of the speaker? That luminosity. By what light do we see our dreams? In dreams also, the same consciousness which is there right now, by which you are listening to me, experiencing this, experiencing your own body, thoughts, the same consciousness will continue when you fall asleep and a world of dreams comes up. And most amazingly, the claim is, when that ceases, when we do not experience an external world, when we do not experience dreams, in the deep darkness of deep sleep, the claim is the luminosity also continues. It doesn't feel like it, Swami. No. What happens then is there is nothing for it to illumine. So there might be light, like in deep space, there is light. It's flooded with light from the sun, but it seems black. Wait for a comet to come in. Then you will see a blazing tail of the comet. The comet doesn't carry its own electricity. It's a bit like Houston. It's dark. But it's lit up. It blazes across the night sky in glory. Where does that light come from? The light is already there in that space that the comet is traveling through. It's only because the comet can now reflect the already pre-existing sunlight. That's why it's lit up. If it's not there, that place just looks dark. Exactly like that. Yeah. When in deep sleep, there's no world. You don't see anything, hear, smell, taste, touch anything. You don't think of anything. You don't dream anything. Therefore, you are there. That consciousness, that awareness, that luminosity. But it does not shine on anything. And therefore, it feels like nothing. I love this definition of deep sleep. I thought I came upon it, but then I saw Rupert Spira also using the same definition. Very beautiful definition. Is the deep sleep is not an absence of experience. It's an experience of absence. It's an experience of absence. And wherever there is experience, the point is the light is there. Awareness is there. Consciousness is there. It's just very different from this. So deep sleep, coma, anesthesia, whatever you call it, is still awareness. The one light shines through all the time. This light is not the body. Why not? Because in dreams, you don't experience the body, and yet your experience continues. This light is not even the mind. Why not? Here's a very deep question. Is consciousness and mind, are they different? Yes. If it is possible that you have deep sleep experience continues in deep sleep, in that case, you don't experience the body, you don't experience the world, you don't even experience the mind. There's not even the sense, I am sleeping. If that thing is there, then you're not sleeping. So no thought is there. Mind is completely shut down. It's not gone, because it comes up the moment you get up, it comes back. Descartes, the French mathematician, philosopher, his famous cogito ergo sum, he started out the project of doubting whatever could be doubted, universal skepticism. And he found that the one thing you could not doubt is your own existence. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. What he meant was, any kind of conscious experience proves your own existence. I think, therefore I am. But also, I feel, therefore I am. I talk, therefore I am. I walk, therefore I am. I write, therefore I am. But in deep sleep, does Descartes not exist in deep sleep because he's not thinking, talking, walking? I asked a professor of philosophy in class when we were studying all this. I said, so I think, therefore I am. In deep sleep, Descartes, presumably like the rest of us, we stop thinking, therefore he is not. And when he wakes up, does he pop back into existence? No, the mind is still there. The capacity to think is still there. And the absence of the thinking is illumined by this light. Anyway, consciousness, the light of consciousness. This is who or what we are. Thank you, Maharaj. This is what you and I, all of us, we are. Every sentient being. It's not that we have this light. If I say, if we have this light, this is a common sense approach. Most people think in this way. We feel that we are bodies with minds and consciousness. Nobody doubts it. You say, yeah, Swami, I know I'm conscious. There's no big deal. Why are you making such a big deal about it? The big deal is here. That not only is the claim is that consciousness is constant, this luminosity is constant, but this is our real nature. We are not bodies with minds and consciousness. We are consciousness with minds and bodies. This shift, if we can do this shift, attend to it at least make the attempt to stay with it. Yeah, I'm aware. This is going on in my life, I'm aware. When I'll walk outside after the talk, I am aware. Whatever I do, when I'm driving, I'm aware. You better be, especially in LA, I'm aware. And when I wake up from sleep and dreams, let me note, I slept. But that was a kind of an experience. So in one sense, awareness was there, though I could not think at that time that I'm aware. And clearly dreams were experiences, so awareness was there. My real nature is awareness. And this verse calls it Teja. Teja. Teja literally means radiance, light. What is this Teja? It's I, me, myself. Namah Tejase. I salute, I bow down to that glorious light, ever-present light. Namah Tejase. One meaning of the word Namaha is, of course, bowing down. You bow down to the divinity. And when you think about this extraordinary light, which makes our life possible, whatever you do in life, the most worldly thing, the most criminal thing, the most ethical thing, and the most spiritual thing, the day you see God, let that blessed day come soon, but you will see it because of that light, because of that luminosity. I hope this does not sound like claims. The real way of understanding is it should be all the time. Yeah, I get it, what you're saying. I get it, yes, yes, yes. Then we will make progress. If it sounds like a theory, something wild, something speculative, then we are not really getting it. What I'm saying is the plainest of all truths, is the simplest of all truths, is the most common of all truths, always present, never not here. Namaha, I bow down. So when you think about it, yes, it's glorious, I bow down to it. But then, it's I, me, myself. So do you mean that I bow down to myself? So in this case, in the non-dual sense, in Advaita Vedanta, Nama means I am one with it. I give up my small identity. This idea that I am just this body. I am just this mind. I give up this identity with body. But don't worry, body and mind will still be there. It won't disappear. Body and mind is still there. It will disappear at the very end of the talk. But anyway, we'll come to that later. But right now, the body and mind is there. But I am not just the body and mind. Just as I am not the clothes I'm wearing or the car that I'm driving. Just because I say I am not the car I'm driving doesn't mean the car will disappear. That could still happen, not in our parking lot, but I am the light in which the mind and the body are experienced and the world are experienced. This realization is also Namaha. In Sanskrit, Namaha can be understood as Na Mama iti Namaha, not mine. This is the old Vedic usage of Namaha. The part of the Vedas which deal with Vedic ritualism. So there's, you've seen smaller forms of it here in the Homa fire. And the sacrificial fire is lit and offerings are poured and the priest chants, Idam Indraya, Idam Na Mamaha. This is for the god Indra. This is not mine. In the same way we do this. This body is not mine. This mind is not mine. It's not I, it's not mine. That's the meaning of Namaha. When you do that, inevitably you will realize I am just this luminosity. You can never say that this luminosity is not I. You can never say that. Try it, you can't. Even to strongly say, I am not this awareness, I am not awareness, you're still aware. Everything else you can dismiss, except this awareness. That you exist, as Descartes, clever old Descartes said, you do exist, that's indubitable. And this existence is also light. What's it made of? When you say, I'm the body, one can understand, what's it made of? Flesh and blood and cells and organs and stuff. If you say, I'm the mind, that's also understandable. What's it made of? Thoughts, emotions, memories, personality. But if I say you are the self, Atman, what's it made of? Luminosity, consciousness, awareness. That's what you're made of. Namah Tejase, I salute. These are the words. Namah Shantaya Tejase. Namah Tejase. I salute this ever-present, ever-radiant luminosity. This is what I am. Digkaladi Anavachinna. Not limited by time and space. Now we're going to explore that light. The light which we are, we're going to explore it. A huge claim is made. See, it's not limited by time and space means what? As I am the body, as a body it's limited in space because I am here and not there. You are there, you are not here. We are all in LA, we are not in New York. We are all on the surface of the earth. We are not in Mars or as much as Elon Musk would like us to go there, we're still here. So we are limited in space, here but not there. We are limited in time. I know I was born at that such and such time, date of birth. And I know I'm going to die at a particular time. So I am limited in time. Before that, I was not. After that, I will not be. From which perspective? Body. No matter how we speak or whatever we speak about pure consciousness, luminosity, it will still be true of the body. The body is limited in space. The body is limited in time. It's born. Everything is born and it dies. Whatever is produced will be destroyed. That's time limitation. And here we are saying, Dikkala the Anavachinna. Literally it means not cut off, not limited by space and time. What do you mean not limited by space and time? Isn't it true? I am here and you are there, I am not there. You're still limited in space. But no. That's from the body perspective. But look at it from the luminosity perspective, consciousness perspective. Let me give an example. Suppose you're dreaming and you don't know you're dreaming. That's the essence of dreaming. You don't know you're dreaming. It feels like waking. And you are on top of Hollywood Hill, there, near the Hollywood sign, and you look down upon LA, spread out. What do you feel? I am here, but not there. Now, that's far away. That's LA in the distance, spread out all below me. And I'm here. Now somebody comes and tells you, no, this is a dream. The whole thing is a projection, an imagination, an appearance in your mind, in the dreamer's mind. It's all in you. How can it be? I'm here. I'm not even there. But when you wake up, won't that be true? Won't it be true that the Hollywood sign and you and the mountain and the city and the sky, they were and the reservoir, they were all in you. Both here and there were in you. Why I'm saying this is in Hindi. I really liked it. In Haridwar, there was a class going on, and the monk was teaching Vedanta, and he says, self is all pervasive. You're all pervasive, sarvavyapi. And one monk at the back said, Theriye Mahatmaji, wait a minute, oh monk. मैं यहाँ वहाँ नहीं हूँ, तो सर्वव्यापी कैसे हुआ? I am here, I'm not even there. How can I be all pervasive? I'm just here, not even there. And the master said, हाँ, लेकिन यहाँ और वहाँ दोनों ही क्या आप में नहीं है? He says, yes, you're right. You are here, but not there. But this here and there, are they not both appearances in you? Just like a dream. Are you with me? There are two possible answers. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Get on with it. Move on. Or, I don't know what this guy's talking about. What are you going on about? Dreams. In dreams, we see space. And when we wake up, we realize, yeah, that was all imagined in my mind. It was all in my mind. Exactly like that, the claim is, all the space that we see, all the here and there with respect to the body, all of vast space, whatever we see and whatever we do not see, all of it is an appearance in this luminosity. This luminosity is not cut off in space. You can't say that this consciousness is here and it's not there. Because both here and there are appearances in space, is an appearance in consciousness. And so is time. Similarly, just like space, time also is an appearance in consciousness. If time is an appearance in consciousness, in that case, consciousness has no beginning or ending in time. Time begins and ends in consciousness, arises and disappears in consciousness. It arises in waking and in dreaming, disappears for a time being in deep sleep. So, consciousness, luminosity, awareness is not cut off. Digkaladi anavachinna is not cut off by time and space. This not being cut off by space is called all-pervasiveness. In Sanskrit, sarvavyapi. This not being cut off in time is called nitya, eternality. So here, eternality does not mean that consciousness is something that lasts for a very long time. Rather, it means that time appears in consciousness and disappears in consciousness. Consciousness is always there. This is called not being limited by time and space. This not being limited by time and space is called limitlessness or infinity, ananta. Digkaladyanavachinna ananta chinmatra murtaye. Ananta means limitlessness. What is a limit? Time limit, a space limit. But there, for consciousness, no time limit, no space limit. Hence, it is, congratulations, you are infinite, ananta. Digkaladi anavachinnaya namaha. I salute that which is not limited by time and space. I salute means I am that. Two things. First, salute. Then the process of salutation is giving up all the limiting adjuncts in upadhi in Sanskrit. And so I realize myself as that unlimited in time and space. And therefore, anantaya namaha. I salute the infinite, limitless. I am limitless. Namah tejase. Salute that luminosity. I am that luminosity. Digkaladi anavacchinnaya nama. I salute the one unlimited by time and space. I am unlimited by time and space. See how radically different it is from our way of thinking about ourselves. Because we all think one thing in common. Whether you believe in God, you do not believe in God, you're spiritual, material, materialist, whatever you are. We all believe I was born and I'm going to die. But now we are being told that you're right, but that's the body. How do you know that the awareness was born? How do you know that the awareness is going to die? Here some people might think, yeah, but if you're dead, the body dies, and with that the brain and the nervous system dies. That's it, gone, lights out. All your fancy awareness theories are all gone. Your great luminosity will be switched off just like that. But that is assuming that the brain is producing consciousness. That is a theory, or a series of theories called materialist reductionism. But it's not been explained yet. It's not been proved yet. And it's in fact hotly debated right now. Especially those who know what I talk about, he'll say, now he's going to talk about the hard problem of consciousness. I won't talk about it now. But let me just mention to you, I came across this remarkable resource. There's one gentleman, Robert Lawrence Kuhn. So what he does, he is this super rich guy, but also scientist, and very interested in all the big questions. What is reality? Where did the universe come from? And especially, what is consciousness? Does God exist? Things like that. So what he has been doing is for the last, 10, 20 years, he has been interviewing the leading scientists in the world, philosophers, theologians, monks, and if you look at it on YouTube, Closer to Truth. Has somebody seen it? Closer to Truth, Robert Lawrence Kuhn. Yeah. So if you look it up, it's a wonderful series of interviews, lots and lots of interviews. But what he has done is, just recently, he has put together all his learnings from talking with scientists, neuroscientists, AI people, physicists, philosophers, consciousness studies experts. He has put it all together what are the current theories of consciousness? And it's publicly made it available. It's one PDF. It's almost encyclopedic. It's called The Landscape of Consciousness. If you Google it, you'll immediately find it. The Landscape of Consciousness. Robert Lawrence Kuhn. Why I'm bringing this up? In the very beginning, he says, what are the theories of consciousness prevalent right now? What's the state of the debate? And I've been reading about it, but I didn't know how extensive and intensive the debate is. You know how many theories of consciousness are prevalent right now? He has given 10 major groups of theories. In each group, there are dozens. Often with minor differences between each other. 10 groups of theories. It's worth taking a look, at least to know the outlines of this debate. So, no, it is not proven yet that when the body dies, consciousness is gone. No, until you can show how the brain is generating consciousness. And that seems to be further away than ever before. Somebody put it this way. To say that brain is generating consciousness is like saying when you all came into the door and said, look at this remarkable thing, the door, it generated so many people. They all appear from the door and disappear back into the door. No. They don't. It's like trying to find out about you, the conscious being, is about consciousness. By studying the brain, you can find out something. It's like by studying the door, can I find out about what kind of person you are, or your lives, your theories, your ideas? By studying the door. The door will tell you the basic height and shape of the person coming through it, but that's all. It won't tell us anything more. Namah Tejase, I salute that luminosity. I salute that luminosity beyond the limitations of time and space. I salute that infinite luminosity. The limitless luminosity. Namah Anantaya Tejase. I am that. Now it gets a little difficult. So far it wasn't difficult. Now it gets a little difficult. Since we have a Q&A after this, I will cruise through this part, and then if you have questions, I'm sure you should have questions on every part of it actually. I am just like Robert Kuhn, who has got 10 different groups of theories in which he puts in one PDF. I am cruising through lots of heavy-duty philosophy and philosophy of mind in this talk. All right. There is a word, Swanubhuti Ekamanaya. The only proof, the only way of knowing it is your own experience. What does it mean? First of all, in Vedanta, there's something called pramana, the source of knowledge. So how do you know that all these people are here? We'll all say, I saw them. So seeing is a source of knowledge. This is called perceptual knowledge, visual perceptual knowledge, pratyaksha pramana. I heard the talk, the Swami gave a talk. How do you know? I heard it. So ears are a source of knowledge. This is called direct perception, or perceptual knowledge. But a lot of things are inferential. You gather data in science and then make an inference about it. So, inferential knowledge. These are all sources of knowledge. These are called pramanas or mana. Mana means to measure, to grasp. One scientist once said, look, science says reality and measurability, they go together. If it's real, it should be measurable. That's wonderful. Vedanta says if it's measurable, it's false. Why? Because in Vedanta, the infinite alone is the real. Whatever is limited is an appearance of the real, because it's a limitation of the real. It's an appearance of the real. When it appears by itself, this place, this space, people, you want to measure the volume of this place, you want to measure the height of a person, you're taking that person by itself, apart from the infinity. In that case, it's an appearance. It's not the ultimate real. The moment you measure means it must be limited. You can't measure the limitless. So measuring means it's limited. Limited means it's an appearance of the limitless. The limitless alone is the real. And therefore, measurability is equal to falsity in Advaita Vedanta. Mana. Now in Vedanta, the only way of realizing the Atman, this is what we are talking about, is the Upanishads, is Vedanta, the Upanishadic texts. You can't see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, but the Upanishadic texts, which are the realizations of the rishis, those Upanishads, they give you pointers, they show you the way. So the source of knowledge, how do we know all this is true? They will say, the Upanishads. But here it is saying, not even the Upanishads. Swanubhuti ekamanaya. Your own experience is the only proof of all of this, is the only way of knowing all of this. What does it mean? Here is something deep here. Point I want to make here is, any kind of mana, pramana, knowledge, source of knowledge, all our sources of knowledge are lit up by the same luminosity. So eyes are my proof that you all exist. But my eyes work only because it's lit up by consciousness. Ears are the proof only because it's lit up by consciousness. All my inference, science, all my beliefs in religion, they're all lit up by consciousness, and therefore they function. All pramanas function because of this luminosity. But none of those pramanas can make this luminosity an object. This luminosity is the light by which everything here is lit up. That shining, everything else shines. Right? Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. You shining, everything else shines. Everything else means your mind shines, then the senses shine, and the world shines. Shines means it's revealed to you. By your light, everything here shines. And yet, that light cannot be an object of those instruments. By these instruments, we know the world. By the mind, I know my body, I know the senses, and I know the world. Through the senses, I know the world. But neither through the mind, not through speech, not through senses, can I know myself, the luminosity. Not because I do not exist, not because I'm unknowable, because I am the light by which everything else is known. What can know me? I will put it into very sophisticated, very precise, logical language in Sanskrit. I'll translate a little bit and leave it for question and answer later. The way they put it this way is this way. Anya anavabhasakatve sati swavetirikta sarva prakashakatvam. Okay, what does that mean? So you're talking about you, the luminosity. It is not revealed by anything else. Eyes, ears, inference, scriptures. Nothing can reveal you, the luminosity. Anya anavabhasakatve sati. Being unobjectifiable by any of the well-known sources of knowledge. Swavetirikta sarva prakashakatvam. It is at the same time, you might say that if it's not knowable by anything, how do you know it exists at all? How do you know it exists? Because the next part of the definition goes, Swavetirikta sarva prakashakatvam. It is that, although it's not knowable by any other source of knowledge, but by that everything is known. Everything is illumined by that consciousness. And because you have the experiences of life, I see, hear, smell, taste, touch, I feel my own existence. Descartes says that's something you cannot deny. If this undeniable experience of life is going on because of that, how can you deny that? It's like saying, I can't see my own eyes. And that's literally true. None of us can see our own eyes directly. You might say, Swami, have you heard of a mirror? But in a mirror, you can see a reflection of your eyes. You can't see your eyes directly. In a selfie, you can see a picture of your eyes. You can't see your eyes directly. The way the eyes are seeing this, the eyes cannot see themselves directly. Now, if I say, you all exist because I see you. So whatever I see exists. And there's no elephant in the room because if it were, I would see it. Since I don't see an elephant in the room, there's no elephant in the room. But all these people are there in the room. All right, because my eyes reveal it. But since my eyes do not reveal the eyes, there are no eyes. You'll say, no, the very fact that you're seeing all of them is a proof that you have got eyes. Sarva prakashakatvam. Swavetirikta sarva prakashakatvam. Excluding itself, that luminosity reveals the entire universe. Then how do we know that luminosity exists? Because it cannot be revealed by anything and it cannot be revealed by itself. So you might say, why don't you say it's revealed by itself? There's a philosophical problem there. Things do not operate on themselves. Things do not operate on themselves. A knife cannot cut itself. So this is called the fallacy of self-reflexivity. So therefore, you cannot say consciousness illumines itself. A more technical problem or definition would be, what do you mean by illumination? That which was not known, that which was in darkness, now you shine a light upon it. It is illumined. Was consciousness ever in darkness? Was consciousness ever unknown? Was it ever in darkness that you have to shine another consciousness on it? This light is all dark, you can't see anything. You switch on this light, you can see everything. And you don't need another light to see that light. So it reveals everything and it shines. Consciousness is something like that. It is called swaprakasha, self-revealed, not self-illumined. It was never in darkness, self-revealed, a different subject, a different concept altogether. Another definition I'll throw out, again examination in the Q&A. Swam anubhuti ekamanaya. This luminosity, the only proof for this luminosity is this luminosity. Sri Ramakrishna would say, how do you get enlightened? Bodhe bodhkara, he would say. Awareness of awareness. So there's a definition of this self-luminosity, swaprakasha, from one of the toughest texts of post-Shankara Dvaita called Chitsukhi. There he takes up 10 definitions of consciousness and dismisses all of them as faulty, the author, Chitsukacharya. Then the 11th definition is accepted as valid. I'll share that with you. 1,000 years ago. Literally 1,000 years ago. The definition is this. Avedyatve sati aparoksha vyavahara yogyatvam. What does it mean? Not being an object of knowledge, yet directly revealed. Yeah. Directly revealed. Aparoksha vyavahara yogyatvam. What's that? It's you. It's your definition. Try to find yourself out. Whatever you'll find will be an object. The body, the prana, the mind, the emotions, the memories, the personality, the intellect, or nothing. Dismiss everything, blank, deep sleep. That's blankness. Try to go beyond that, you'll never find it. And yet you cannot deny that you exist. So, how do you know that? Not being, you are never an object. It's good news. If you were an object of any kind of knowledge, you would be a thing. But you're not a thing. So I'm nothing, you're not nothing. You are no thing. No hyphen thing. Swa anubhuti ekamanaya namaha. I salute that radiance, which is, its only proof is its own light. And then he says, Chinmatra murte namaha. I salute that which is only consciousness. What is that which is only consciousness? Here is a remarkable thing. So you've just been talking about it, Swami, this luminosity, not body, not mind. Chidananda rupa shivoham, I'm of the nature of Shiva, I'm consciousness, I'm bliss, this light by which I'm experiencing everything. You have been talking about it. Now he goes further. He says, whatever you experience, not just you, whatever you experience, these people, the chairs and tables you're sitting on, this one, all of this is that light only. Is you the light? The entire universe is light only. What light is that? It's you. Chinmatra murtaye namaha. How do you know that? I'll rattle off some terms. I won't explain it. To explain it will take an hour at least, or a full course in Indian philosophy. What I'll do is start with this universe and end up with consciousness alone. In 7 steps. Jagat, prapancha. This Jagat, this is the word. What is this? It's nothing but the play of matter and energy. Or in Sanskrit, panchabhuta vilasa, the play of 5 elements. But what is the play of 5 elements? What are these 5 elements? This is maya vilasa. They are transformations of maya. Won't explain. The transformations of maya. But maya does not exist without the mayin, Shakti does not exist without Shaktiman, the holder of that Shakti. In what does Maya exist? In consciousness. So, it is Brahma Vilasa, Chid Vilasa. What is that? Jagat, Panchabhuta Vilasa, Maya Vilasa, Chid Vilasa, 4th one. It is the play of consciousness. Play of Maya, it's play of consciousness. Play of Maya is exactly the play of consciousness. But then the question might arise, does consciousness play? Consciousness shines. We just talked about it, your luminosity. How will it play? Physical thing can play. A mental play can be there, but light itself, how does it play? Just the shining of the light is called playing in poetic language. So Chidvilasa is nothing other than Chidvivarta, the appearance of consciousness. Vivarta is a technical term in Vedanta. The rope appears as the snake. Consciousness appears as its own object. Chidvivarta. Again, I know there are heavy-duty arguments required to sustain this. It's putting a lot of load on these claims. Chidvivarta. But I'm giving you the outline now. Appearance of consciousness. But whatever appears, it's pervaded by the reality which appears. There's a saying, what appears is not real. Reality never appears. What's the connection between reality and appearance? It's the reality alone which appears. It's the rope alone which appears as the snake. Therefore, whatever appears, the snake must be pervaded by the rope. It must be the rope all through. Wherever there is an appearance, the rope must be there. The snake, whenever there's a snake, this rope must be there. Wherever there is a movie playing on a screen, the screen must be there. Even if you don't see it, it's all pictures. Wherever there's a dream going on, the dreamer must be behind it, even if the dreaming mind is not obvious in the dream. Similarly, wherever the universe, if it's the universe is an appearance of consciousness, Chidvivarta, then in the universe, consciousness must be there. This is called Chinmaya, pervasion by consciousness. Two meanings, pervaded by consciousness or a transformation, or Maya means transformation, effect of consciousness. But what is pervasion? Last. I promise not to torture you anymore. What is pervasion by consciousness? It's like when you switch on the light pervades the room. It was in darkness, pervades the room. When you light incense, the incense pervades the room. Is it like that? There is a universe and then consciousness comes and pervades it? No. Pervasion is like this podium. It's made of wood. So if I say wood pervades this podium, what am I saying? The thing is true and true wood. Ocean is pervaded by water. It doesn't mean that there is an ocean and then you put a lot of water into it. No, it's just water. The wave is pervaded by water. It means the wave is just water. Similarly, Chinmaya, pervasion, universe pervaded by consciousness means the universe is consciousness only, Chinmatra. 7-step reduction of this material universe to consciousness only. Universe, play of 5 elements. This is the play of Maya. This is a play of consciousness. Is an appearance in consciousness, pervaded by consciousness. Consciousness only. Chinmatra. Chinmatra murtaye namaha. I salute this universe, which is light alone. And yet it appears as the universe. How can this solid, vast universe just be light, just be consciousness? Doesn't seem possible. But notice, in our dreams, you have vivid dreams of people and places and trees and rocks and sky and earth. And when you wake up, it's just mind. Now we have virtual reality. So it's just data being projected, being rendered by a computer. But it can project a whole universe. What these people say, is Vedanta says, is like this. I'll put the water to good use. Here is transparent water. It's colorless. It's transparent. But now suppose I put this orange cloth behind it. Does it look orange? It looks orange. But even when it looks orange, it's just transparent water. And if I put a red cloth behind it, it'll look red. If I put yellow cloth behind it, it'll look yellow. This is the theory of upadhi. Something comes near another entity and appears to transfer its qualities onto it. Similarly, and again you might ask, but then there's a cloth and there's water. And so this is just an example. No example is perfect. That's the very nature of examples. Their consciousness does not need a universe to come near it and then looks like a universe. No. So consciousness appears as a universe without actually being a universe. Consciousness appears, the water appears to be orange without actually becoming orange. You can experience the universe. You can see bodies and minds and experience people. All the time, there's only consciousness. Chinmatra murtaye nama. That being so, then all the misery, the samsara which we are complaining about, it is light only. There is no samsara. Namah Shantaya. I salute that light which is ever free from sorrow. two meanings of Shanta. One is the Mandukya Upanishad meaning, Shanta. Prapanchopashamam Shantam Shivam. There it means free of all sorrow, free of samsara, free of the birth, death, age, illness, loss, grief, evil, free of it. Who is free of it? That light. You say, good for it, but what about me? You are that light. Free of samsara. The second meaning of Shantaya means Upashantoyam Atma. That means this Atman is free of all attributes. No language can express it. If you want to express it, the best expression is silence. In Dakshinamurti Stotra, the master, Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya. The Guru teaches in silence and the doubts of the disciples are removed. Not like this hour-long lecture. If I stood in silence, I wouldn't be invited back again. Namah Shantaya. I salute that light, luminosity, which is forever free of sorrow, limitation, death, old age. I am that luminosity. Namah Tejase. I salute that luminosity, which I am. Namah Diggaladi Anavacchinnaya. I salute that luminosity which is unlimited by time and space. Namah Anantaya. I salute that luminosity which is limitless. I am that luminosity which is limitless, infinite. Namah Swanubhuti Ekamanaya. I salute that luminosity whose only proof, whose only way of knowing it is that luminosity. I am that self-revealed luminosity. Namah Chinmatra Murtaye. I salute that luminosity which is this very universe. But it's consciousness alone, it's light alone. Remember the 7-step reduction. Namah Shantaya. I salute that luminosity which is ever free from sorrow and suffering and limitation. I salute, I am that luminosity, ever free from suffering and limitation and sorrow. Remember, when are you saying this? In the midst of the universe appearing, while going through sickness and old age and disease and death, you can say, I am fine. By the way, what's the proof of all this? The proof is the enlightened ones, their experiences. There's so many examples. In the midst of disease, dying from terminal cancer, Sri Ramakrishna can happily acknowledge, I am in great bliss. How? Namah Shantaya Tejasi. I salute that luminosity ever free, serene luminosity ever free from sorrow and suffering. I am that serene luminosity ever free from suffering and sorrow. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Brahmananda is here. On this auspicious occasion, when we look back upon one of the greatest messengers of light, Swami Vivekananda, who came here 125 years ago, may those blessings come down on us. May we realize that we are this limitless, serene luminosity. May we come home while being at home. Yes. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. And so those who are already here, you get first crack at the questions. So you're the early birds and the worm is here, so early bird gets the worm. We'll go to you, to the lady there and the lady at the back after this. Yeah.
Okay. Namaste Swamiji. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Swamiji,
Tell us your name and ask the question.
Yeah, my name is Arvind, and I wrote this down so that I can be clear and concise. So when a person recognizes his or her existential truth as consciousness alone, which is so undeniable, he also recognizes that this is the existential truth about every being. In fact, one recognizes that everything here is that alone, undeniably. Like the experience of khulle nain dekhu sabko.
Yeah.
Then what does freedom from cycle of birth and death mean from this perspective of truth? Because isn't it the very power of this existential truth to appear as this apparent bondage and apparent freedom? For it was never bound to begin with. isn't it the very power of the water to appear and disappear as wave? So what if one wave recognizes that it's water?
When one wave recognizes it's water, it will first of all realize that it was always water. And in fact, that's one, it never lost its water nature. And in fact, the lady there who raised your hand, raise your hand so that you have to catch the attention of the volunteer. Yes, we'll go there next. We'll go there. Now, please sit, please sit, please sit. So when we do this Q&A, don't be in a hurry. When do I get to ask my question? When is he going to come around to your question? Probably never. So it's much more useful to listen to the questions as they come up, because often these questions are everybody's questions. And sometimes the answers to somebody else's question might strike a chord within us, which even the answer to our own question might not. So it's good to listen to the questions and the answers. So when the water recognizes itself as water, it sees that it was always water. The next it sees that all the other waves are also the same water. Even in the water example, it's not quite perfect, because the water here in this wave is not the water in that wave. But in Advaita, it's much more radically identical. You are literally the same person there. But further, so you recognize that the wave recognizes as water. Wave recognizes it's the same water in every wave, that it was always water. But also, further, it recognizes, in a certain sense, there is no such thing as a wave. The wave is an appearance, a name and a form and a function on water. That name, form, and function does not exist apart from that water. So just as this glass of water exists apart from the microphone, but this napkin, it does not exist apart from paper. The napkin is just paper with a particular name and a form and a function. So similarly, once it realizes that, then it realizes this so-called birth and death and samsara, where just appearance is like the wave is an appearance. So from that perspective, I'm ever free. I was free, am free, and will ever be free. From the perspective of samsara, that person's individuality is over. Then that person need not be born again. From our perspective, he's free. He's released into his infinite nature. Yeah.
But Swami, isn't it the very power of that to, let's say, maybe that person and that being, the very power of it to continue to appear?
It will continue to appear. It will continue to appear as the ocean, but it's no longer a bondage. But it will be, the paradoxical thing is, it will be a bondage for those waves who do not know that they are water. That will continue. For the wave which knew it is water, it's gone. It's finished forever. So from our perspective, here was the wave who is freed into its water nature forever. And here are all the other waves who keep on thinking they are the waves. And they'll have to reincarnate again and again as waves of various kinds until they realize that they are water. Similarly, we realize we are this limitless awareness, or this limitless serene luminosity. Yes. Tell us your name and ask the question. Yeah.
Atmanaman Swamiji. My name is Neera. My question to you, I have two questions, if that's possible. I am that, to understand, this is understood in theory. How and when is the light revealed to the self?
Yes. Two things here. One is, I am that, it's understood in theory, but when does it become a reality? When is it revealed to me in reality? It's like, when does it become a living truth for me? First answer, the direct answer is, it's already a living truth. Why do you think it's revealed in theory? It's revealed in theory because when we listen to these teachings, at some point, it becomes theoretical. Whatever has been said in that verse, whatever has been said in the verse which we discussed today, whatever has been said, none of it is theoretical. That you are sitting here, Neera, is this theory or is it a fact? What is it? It's a fact. It's a fact. That you are aware that you have a body. Is it a theory or a fact? It's a fact. And if you look inside, you're aware that you have thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, pains, and pleasures. Is that fact or is it theory? It's a fact. That you are aware of the mind and the body and the world. That awareness, is it a fact or a theory? It's a fact. It's the first of all facts. All facts follow from that. And then, noticing that, then go through the whole process. This whole thing will be recorded and uploaded. So go through the whole process. That this luminosity I am, this awareness, think well upon it. You'll notice at every point it's a fact. This luminosity is not limited in time and space. Time and space appears to this luminosity. That's already a fact. And therefore, this luminosity must be limitless. That's already a fact. It's not a theory. It sounds very theoretical and abstract. It's not. This luminosity must be consciousness only. It's revealed by itself. Luminosity is revealed by itself. You can't see it with your eyes, or you can't see it with, instruments. But all seeing with eyes and instruments, all kinds of understanding is powered, as it were, by this luminosity which you are. Swa anubhuti ekamanaya. This luminosity is appearing to itself as this universe. Little more difficult to understand, but it will become understood over time. Everybody is that luminosity, and they are appearing to itself. And hence, from the perspective of this luminosity, there is no problem at all. Take only body perspective, Neera has a lot of problems. Take only person perspective, there are problems. But luminosity perspective, Neera has no problem at all. Try this. You sit quietly. You close your eyes when you are comfortable. Now visualize that you are not seeing anything, not hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Just hear my words. You say, I don't hear you, Swami. And I'm not doing anything. I'm not walking, I'm not talking, I'm not doing any action. Just sitting quiet, not seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Visualize, make an experiment in the mind like that. And then not thinking anything, not remembering anything. Suppose memory has completely failed. I don't remember a single thing about my life or the world or anything at all. And my feelings are all neutral. I don't feel excited or bored. I don't feel pleasure or pain. Neutral. No memory, no world, no body, no senses, no sense of a personality. Just blank. Now turn inwards from that blank into the one which is aware of the blank. The awareness by itself. The awareness by itself. It's not seeing anything, hearing anything, doesn't remember anything about the world, no conception or perception of body, nothing. No personality there also, just awareness. What does that awareness want? Nothing. Is that awareness sad? No. Is that awareness waiting for something to happen, some enlightenment? No. Isn't it impersonal? It's not a personality at all. It's just the same in everybody. Bodies are born and die. Is the awareness born and die? Is the awareness afraid of death? No. Without the world, without memory, without perceptions, is there poverty? Is there disease? What illumination does it want? What spirituality does it want? This awareness. So by itself, this awareness doesn't want anything. So gently open your eyes. Notice that awareness must be there right now, because otherwise you won't be able to see anything. You as awareness only, you have no problem at all. Right now. This is such a remarkable, awareness has no problem. The mind has a problem with it. The mind doesn't want to accept that. It's too much to accept. So you have to stay with it. Stay with it. It's so simple, and somebody says it's too good to be true. One Tibetan master said, it's too simple to understand. It's too good to be true. It's too obvious to get it.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Adya. As you wonderfully started off your talk today saying that this whole spiritual endeavor is a journey to home while being home.
Yes.
But the ego or the false self just gets in the way and gets us into trouble. So could you please provide practical, foolproof ways from a point of view of Advaita Vedanta and Jnana Yoga to dismantle this egoic structure, which seems to be the linchpin of Maya, so that it may not crop up again as a spiritualized ego or something else and get us into trouble again?
Yes, yes. The way to dismantle it is exactly what we have been doing. Listen to this dismantling knowledge. It's like a bomb being set off in our conceptual structure. One thing, we do not examine ever what we are. We take it for granted, I am this person. I was born in such and such place. These are my ideas. This is my personality. And I'm struggling in this world, doing better sometimes, worse sometimes. This is who I am. We don't even examine it. It's such a taken for granted kind of truth for us. And Advaita Vedanta is difficult precisely for that reason. It's not complex. It's, as I said, it's too simple. But it's difficult because it challenges our most cherished or most unexamined preconceived notion about ourselves. Yeah. So you start with just hold on to this awareness, or this I am. I am in the sense not of the words I am. Notice the words I and am, they are, if you want to make a further distinction, the am refers to your existence. The I refers to that awareness. You see, you cannot have the thought of I, the experience of I without awareness. I and awareness always go together. So this awareness existence, this is what we are. The more we focus on this, the more the egoic structure, which is connected to so many things, memory, body, and the world, its relationships, all of that, not dismantled, it's seen as an appearance. It will still continue. When you are enlightened, you can still happily inhabit this structure, but you are not limited by it anymore. Yeah. So, hearing these truths, thinking about it, staying with the sense of I am, staying with the sense of awareness. Just stay with the sense of awareness. Somebody put it very beautifully. Move in the direction of the I am. Because if you say I am, what is the exercise? What is the practice? This is a good instruction. You feel I am, move in that direction. So all thoughts of world, move away from it. Feelings and sensations, move away from it. Bodily sensations, move away from it. Away in which direction? Towards the I am. It will become very intense in a few moments. Let go and start all over again. Yes.
Namaskar, Swamiji. I'm Shomir. I have a little bit offbeat question, and I've been, whole speech, I'm in the AI space, by the way, so I'm trying to compare that. How do you, superimpose that AI space with the Vedanta philosophy and all that, especially in some of the areas you talked about, like consciousness and awareness, and then you're talking about also the AR, VR, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality, like I'm here, I'm not there. So the question is, where do you draw the line? Today's AI is all sensor-based, which our consciousness is all about, all the inputs coming from various, for example, the autonomous vehicle and all that. It's all sensor-based. Everything is sensor. Sensors continuously coming, it's making its own decision and taking the right path, whether I'm going to hit this guy or not, I'm going to crash this or not, but it's making the decision. Also, for example, the AI, AR, VR, artificial intelligence in the augmented reality, which is equivalent to I'm here, I'm not there. Like, so that kind of thing, like I'm trying to see if there is where do you draw the line between these two, or is it ever going to catch up with that the human power is going to be automatically transferred to the AI space or not? Where do you make this difference, and where do you draw the line? So.
Okay, I'll take up just one question from all of that. Where do you draw the line?
Right.
And the line is
Thank you.
This consciousness, this awareness. this luminosity we're talking about. Just by the way, somebody pointed out to me, the OpenAI founder, Sam Altman, somebody asked him that, can you tell us something that you believe in which we are not aware of? And he said, Atman is Brahman. Apparently it's there on his X Twitter feed, it's there. Anyway, so he is also a Vedanta fan. I don't know how much he studies, but he knows about it definitely. All right. What fascinates me about the whole AI thing is, notice, AI is doing a lot of things which we thought were limited only for human beings. For example, creativity. We thought computers, machines, robots will come and do all the physical work. And all the creative stuff, the human stuff will be for us. But here it's not doing we are left to do the physical work. And the AI is now taking over the creative work. So I saw in the Museum of Modern Art in Manhattan, it's probably the biggest museum of modern art in the world. And when you enter it now, you will see a big screen where AI is generating art continuously. So what they have done is they have fed the entire contents of the Museum of Modern Art into the AI and asked it to generate similar stuff. It's haunting. Now you might say, is it art? From the AI's perspective, if you look at it, any artist will say, no, it's just a machine producing things based on algorithms. But if you look at it from the perspective of the viewer, the person who's coming and watching it, aren't you captivated by it? I was captivated. I had seen the whole bunch of people standing open-mouthed looking at it. So it is having an effect on you. Suppose it was not told to you that it's made by an AI. You would think it's real art. Now the AI is generating images. AI is writing stories. I asked AI to do a story on Vivekananda, a poem on Vivekananda. It did it. Maybe it's not poet laureate stuff, but it's not bad either. It's like an intelligent school or college kid would write a good poem. So average, let's say. But then it did something no human poet can ever do. I asked it to write another poem. It did it within seconds. I asked it to write another poem. And if you do that to AI, it will write different poems all day long. No poet can do that in the world. It will write stories for you. Yeah? So so it can do that. Creativity. Then you also mentioned decision making. And recently, it's not even that level of AI, but I for the first time had experience of a completely self-driving car. So this gentleman in Toronto, he's bought the latest Tesla model. So the full self-drive mode, he put it there. I've sat in Teslas, but I never experienced that full self-drive mode. From the starting till the end of the destination, no touch. And once in a while you have to touch it, I think, because it's there's a warning to see if you're alert. But the car did everything. So now now there are Google self-driving cars. Somebody told me they saw it in Phoenix, in San Francisco. There are these cars, no driver. Sometimes no passenger also, it's going along. So all of this is there, and much more. And now it's already very widespread. Many people who are working in big companies, they tell me that each of their companies, they have their own pet AIs, in-house AIs, which have been trained for the work of that company and does extraordinary work. And these are all proprietary and secret, so they are not shared with others. So, all right. So it does all of this. Things which we thought till now are limited to human beings only. We thought, all right, cranes will lift big weights, calculators will calculate stuff, but creativity, decision-making, all of these we will do as human beings. No, now it's the opposite. The human beings are not doing it, the AI is doing it. Except one thing. You asked drawing the line. Except one thing. They are not aware that luminosity is not there. You might ask, how do you know? Well, ask, he's an expert. You ask him, have you programmed the AI to be conscious? He said, no. Why not? And they will answer, we don't know what consciousness is. We don't know where to start. We can make it, see, these are, actually AI is not creative in the sense we are creative. What they are doing is they are simulating it, they are modeling creativity. But the effect is similar. They are modeling our decision making. When you are driving a car and the self-driving car pulls up along you, the difference is this. Not in the behavior. Maybe the self-driving car is driving better than you, maybe more precisely than you. But the difference is this. When you are driving, you have a feel for it. You are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, making decisions in your mind. There's a continuous experience of driving going on within you. There's nothing like that going on in that AI-driven car. All decisions are being made. Every action is being made. But there's no inner feeling of driving inside. It's a machine. Very complex machine, very sophisticated machine. Sophisticated to the extent that experts also say now we don't know what's going on within it. Yes. So
If the sentimental analysis also is being worked on, understand?
the what?
Sentimental analysis, like, as you said, like touch, feel, sense. So
Yes. But remember, touch, feel, sense are sensors, but they will reproduce your behavior, but they will not reproduce your inner feeling. So when the usher is opening the door, usher has an experience of seeing somebody coming, opening the door, letting you in. But when you go to the airport, there's a simple sensor on the door. When you approach it, the sensor opens the door. This usher has a first-person experience all the time, a living experience within. That little sensor in that door in the airport does not have any experience with it. It's mechanically opening the door, sensing your presence. So when we are using these words, we have to be careful. Sensing. Seeing. You are seeing. I am seeing. But the camera, which is there, is not seeing in the sense the two of us are seeing. There's no inner first-person experience. So this is the line. And my question here is this. I think it's an important question. Why not? Why is it so difficult to model consciousness? I would say decision-making, creativity are much more complex things. Consciousness does only one thing. First-person experience. Anubhava. That's what consciousness does. But why is it so difficult to model? Why is it, not only they have no idea where to start. Why? My answer, and the answer from Vedanta and Sankhya and all, is that it is fundamentally different from mind. You're now able to model the mind, but you're not modeling consciousness. This is the dividing line. Please, anybody?
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Devahuti, and I have 2 questions. My questions are basically because of my own ignorance and the pain which I'm going through. My husband just passed away in March.
Sorry to hear that.
And so I'm listening to your talks and trying to understand. I have no issue until I am consciousness, but I read it, try to think that I'm the consciousness and everything in the world is appearing in me. I understand the words, but I don't feel it. And because of that, I just start thinking that if I'm the consciousness, I'm not body. And my late husband, who is not here, he's also a consciousness, and he's still there.
Yes.
So if I'm consciousness and if I can understand that everything is appearing in me, does that mean that his consciousness, he was a consciousness, he is also in me, and I should not keep on grieving for him?
Yes, that's well put. That's very well put. What Vedanta wants to say is, the way we look at ourselves is exactly the way we understand others. If I look at myself as a body, I will understand all of you as bodies also. If I look at myself as a person, body with mind, I will understand all of you as like a body with mind. In both cases, death is a problem. As body, that person is gone. Body is gone. As person, body is gone, but the person who was this person, the mind, that may have gone. At least I don't have any contact with it anymore. But if I look at myself as consciousness, as awareness, then I will look at others as awareness also. Then a couple of things will come, very interesting things. One is, if I am awareness alone, then the death belongs to death of the body, not death of consciousness. Mind also stops and starts. When you fall asleep, mind stops. When you wake up, mind starts again. So, consciousness does not stop and start. Consciousness is not born, consciousness does not die. So the person who's dead, physical body is dead. Mind may have gone elsewhere, I don't know. But consciousness is there, is always here, always there, and not dying. Not born, not dying. But this is the first point. Consciousness does not die. Second, that consciousness in that person and the consciousness which I am are the same consciousness. So it's not that the world appears in me, so that which was my husband also appears in me, and somehow it is still there. Not in that sense. That which was husband, wife, father, mother, whoever you have lost, they were exactly me. So they are not only here, it is you. They are never different from you. They cannot be different from you. That consciousness which with the body and mind of your husband appeared to you as your husband, and that which appears as you, they're the same consciousness. In one sense then, every being in the universe is one with you. Choicelessly one with you, including people you don't like. All right. Please give to somebody. Then yes. First we'll go there and then come here.
Namaste Swamiji, I'm Akriti. If I am limitless or we are limitless in one consciousness, how do I remain committed to karma without feeling passion, pain, or pleasure?
Notice that consciousness enables me to feel things. Right now, if I feel hungry, I will put food in this mouth, whether I'm one consciousness or many or whatever, is hunger and I satisfy it. If I have problems, I'll try to solve them. If I have hunger, if I have pain, in this case. And if I know that I am the one consciousness in all beings, then in principle, the hunger and pain of the others should be equal to my own hunger and pain. Just as I solve my own hunger and pain, I feed the hungry here, I cure the pain here, I should work to feed the hungry there and cure the pain there. Hunger is to be removed, pain is to be removed because it is hunger, because it is pain, regardless of mine or yours. Right now, I am working pulled and pushed by pleasure and pain, my own pleasure and pain. Then I will work because of this oneness of all existence. Swami Vivekananda said, this oneness of all existence, that means we are all this one radiance, one limitless consciousness. This is the basis of ethics. Why? He says, why should I not cut my neighbor's throat if it is to my own gain? Because my neighbor is I, myself. You would never harm yourself, instinctively. I mean, harm in the sense, you would always want the best for yourself. Similarly, you would want the best for everybody now, regardless of who they are in relation to you, the person. Is this making sense? Your question was, how will I continue to work for others? Yes.
So what I struggle the most is that how do I continue to be passionate about what I do every day, which is my karma, with still having the realization that I'm one consciousness. That means I shouldn't be feeling either the pleasure or pain of what I do as karma.
True, but at the same time, in Advaita Vedanta there's no escapism. Whatever is the fact should be reported as a fact. I am one awareness. Right now, do I feel pain or not? Do I feel hunger or not? I do. In that case, I work for removing that hunger. There's no point in saying I'll deny it. As awareness, I know that I am beyond hunger and pain. But that awareness in this mind and body, in this personality, is vulnerable to hunger and pain. And so this same awareness in all bodies and minds is vulnerable to suffering. And that's what is the impetus for my working. Earlier, I used to work for I, me, myself. Now that I has expanded a lot. Swami Turiyanandaji says, so we're talking about Swami Vivekananda here. Swami Turiyanandaji says about Vivekananda, when Vivekananda would say I, his I was the cosmic I. It included everybody. Then Turiyanandaji says something remarkable. He says, that does not come so easily to us. So we have to say thou. You are my Lord. and I bow down to you. And my through love of God comes in the long run. We were just reading this morning today. Vivekananda says, through love of God comes in the long run the love of everybody. That's a little roundabout way. But Vivekananda's was direct. I am all. Just as this pains and pleasures in one body affect me, pains and pleasures in all body are affecting me. And so in this one body, because I know my identity with all others, this one should work for the welfare of everybody. It's not a theoretical thing. It should be felt viscerally. I feel the sufferings of others as my own suffering. And that way. Yes. Where is
Namaste, Swamiji. I've been listening to your lectures online and really feel blessed to be here in person listening to you. My question is about death. And I understand that after death, the consciousness melts into the ocean of consciousness. That's my understanding. But why do consciousness then manifest back into a human body? Or what about consciousness in other living things? Is it the same as humans? And yeah, that's the question.
You said at death, consciousness melts into the ocean of consciousness.
And why does it manifest? It doesn't?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It's like saying the wave arises. It's water only.
Right.
After the wave subsides, the water of the wave melts with everything else. No, it's just water. It was water earlier. When it's a wave, it's water. When the wave subsides, it's still water. From you, nothing happens to the consciousness. You are aware. That awareness, that consciousness, you are this limitless awareness in which this body, mind, personality arose and disappeared again after some time. You are fine. Or consider the dream example. Is it that I, the consciousness, became attached to the person in the dream and then went through lots of sufferings and nightmares and all? Now, time to wake up, I will melt back into my waking state. That's what it looks like, but it doesn't. You are always the dreamer. You projected yourself. Actually, nothing in the dream actually ever happened. It's a dream. That's why we call it a dream. When we wake up, we just realize I was lying here in the bed and imagination was going on in the mind. So consciousness always remains as consciousness. And the second part of your question was, what about consciousness in other living beings? Well, what about them? They are the same consciousness. Just the hardware is different. We have a human hardware here and little human software here in the mind. Both the hardware and software are changed when you go into a animal body. Of course, the Jivatman continues there. So it's like the same data, same operating system now transferred to a hardware which is less capable. So many of your apps will not work there. You can't do, because the Vedanta app will not work. The holding a job in Hollywood will not work. I'm just a puppy. So it's fine. Some apps will work. The puppy app will work there. But consciousness is exactly the same. Awareness is exactly the same there. Why do we manifest into? Well, there's different things. Well, there are many questions, many possible answers to this. I love this question because it's like one of the ultimate questions. So why at all anything? You are pure consciousness. Why at all this universe? Why at all? Why does Brahman become this universe? Why does the one become the many? If you are limitless awareness, why anything at all? But let me give you an answer which I have not found in any books, which appeals to me. And somehow I stumbled on this answer. It is, what alternatives does consciousness have? What alternatives does Atman or Brahman have? It could either manifest as something or as nothing. Right? You're asking, why does it manifest in these ways? Either it could manifest as something, human beings, world, universe, people, or just be nothing and manifest as nothing, just remain as awareness itself without any manifestation. Could do that. But that's exactly what it is doing. In waking and dreaming, there is a manifestation. In deep sleep, blank. In the creation of the universe, in Sanskrit we say Srishti Sthiti. And when the universe dissolves, Pralaya, blank. So both alternatives, consciousness is doing both. Suppose consciousness did not do anything, no manifestation, just remained a waveless ocean. Then we would arguably complain, what a useless consciousness. Couldn't it do anything? When it does something, oh my God, so much trouble. Why is it doing all this? Stop. And the consciousness says, okay, stop, fall asleep, it'll stop. But consciousness as such is fine.
Thank you, Swamiji, for your talk. My name is Akash. I'm a college student. I have two questions. One is my original question, and another is a follow-up from a previous question. So I'll start with that. You talked about how artificial intelligence and stuff is not conscious because it lacks this innate consciousness, kind of. But we do see that it does have similar decision-making processes and similar kind of the neural network work in a very similar way to at least what we know about how our brain works. So how, I guess this is kind of touching simulation theory, but how can we even make the claim that consciousness does not exist?
Well, let me start with that. How can we make the claim that consciousness does not exist in artificial intelligence, those systems? Well, let me ask you this way. Let him ask the follow-up. That's all right. Let him ask the follow-up. Let me ask you that it takes decisions, it drives cars, it composes poems, it composes modern art, whatnot. All of those capacities have been programmed into it. You have worked really hard. Maybe literally it has not been programmed, but the capacities have been developed in it, that it can do such things. Why would you say that, yes, there could be consciousness even if we didn't plan for it? Have you ever seen something emerging, it can drive a car? We didn't mean it to drive a car. It was meant for writing poems, but it drives cars. Never. You have to put enormous amounts of hard work into it. Millions of dollars, if I'm not wrong, hundreds of millions of dollars are spent in training the AI. I met a gentleman who works for Microsoft, I think Gemini in Google. So they are the team. You're saying a big team with PhDs and so on. All they're doing day in and day out is making that Gemini AI smarter and smarter. Now, if you say that, no, we didn't do all that. We just wanted it to write, Microsoft Word, write a letter. But now it can do all of that because it just emerged. No, it doesn't. So you have programmed, you put in so much effort and money to give all these capacities. How, isn't it weird to say it could just be there? No, we didn't program it to be conscious. We don't have no idea how to make it consciousness, how to give it consciousness, but it just has consciousness. How would you think it's probable? Unlikely.
But don't our experiences also kind of program us to make the decisions in the way that we make them and to kind of gain new experiences and gain new ways of doing things?
What does that have to do with consciousness? As you have yourself demonstrated in AI, completely unconscious and still can take decisions. Completely unconscious, still can write poems. In fact, one thing one must be aware is these AI systems are not like us. They are producing results like us, but they are very, very unlike the way our minds function. They are modeling certain processes and giving similar results. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll ask the original question. In the very beginning, you said how awareness, right? You said you're aware when you're waking, you're aware when you're dreaming, that consciousness exists at that time. But then you said that you're also aware in the dreamless state. And I didn't understand the jump between, I understand how we kind of first person, we have experience of being awake, and first person, we have experience of dreaming, having dreamt. But we don't have the experience of having not dreamt. Then how do we prove, or how do we come to that conclusion?
But you have the experience of deep sleep. In every culture around the world, and personally each one of us knows what it is to sleep without dreams. We say things like, I slept like a log. That's a phrase in English. I didn't know anything. I always say the Bengali equivalent is, I slept like mud, ghumiye kada. Why? Because in Bengal it's always 100 degrees and temperature and 100% humidity. So if you go to sleep, you're going to wake up feeling like mud. So every culture in the world has an equivalent for dreamless sleep. Why, if that was not an experience? How could you talk about it? There's a lot of debate about this. There are philosophers who hold what you say. That yes, dreamless sleep is there, but it's not an experience. There's no consciousness there to experience dreamless sleep. So what we do there is we wake up and then we infer that there was a period of where I had no experiences and no dreams, and therefore that was dreamless sleep. But then the Advaitin will reply to this argument by saying, look at your own experience. Do you ever do this? Does anybody ever do this? I wake up remembering some dreams, and then I calculate, okay, I went to sleep at that time, and this was the time for dreams, and there's some time left over. So that must have been the dream list. Nobody ever thinks like that. Everybody thinks there were dreams, and there were periods of absolute blankness. That's an experience too. Even time can disappear. General anesthesia. I experienced it recently. General anesthesia. Very interesting. It's deeper than deep sleep. They put you out and come back again. And yet there is a gap. It's not a remembered gap. It's still an experience. It's not seamless. Why it seems to be nothing at all is that I was reading a paper on it, that general anesthesia also removes, when you wake up, it removes your sense of memory also. That's why what was experienced at that time is not recalled anymore. That's why it seems, this is scary, some surgeons, doctors who know how it works, refuse to go under general anesthesia. It seems there can actually be severe, excruciating pain when you are being operated upon under anesthesia, as if you are not anesthetized, and yet you forget everything when you wake up. So you're not really anesthetized. That sounds horrible. Anyway, the point is, the reason we feel like that is all our experience now is consciousness plus mind plus senses. In dreams, it's consciousness plus mind. Now, when mind and senses are knocked out of the equation, it feels like nothing. It's like, as I said, the dark space example. It's filled with light. And yet, if we did not know what light is and what's darkness, we would say that it's just darkness. There's no light there. Why are you claiming there's light? I don't see anything there. Not because the light is not there. It's just because there's nothing to reflect that light. So in deep sleep, in anesthesia, there is no object for consciousness. To have an object for consciousness, you need something to function, like a mind, like senses, and maybe the world also. That's the answer. Who's next? Yes. Yes.
My name is Swaraj.
Yes.
আমার প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে যে how this awareness or consciousness can be related to or associated with bhakti or devotion. So Swamiji, different people think of God in different ways. Some people think of it as...
Okay, I'll just answer the first question. I mean, this is good enough, it's precise enough. How are we doing for time? We have got, what, 5 minutes?
10 minutes more.
10 minutes more, okay. The answer is, remember the verse which we did today? Namah Shantaya Tejase. And the two meanings of Namah. Namah means bowing down. Bowing down is always I to something else. I to God. You can treat that consciousness as another, though it's you, but you can treat it as another. How do you do that? Well, just remain as you. Your name is Swaraj. I am this person, Swaraj. Yes, I understand all your consciousness stuff. I am consciousness plus this mind personality. I am just Swaraj. In that case, this limitless consciousness in which the whole universe appears is now something is awesome to me, is the fabric of reality for me, and I'm very happy to bow down to it. It is God to me. That's the definition of God in Vedanta. So, if you retain your individuality and conceive of this consciousness, it will feel like an other. This is exactly what Turiyanandaji said. He said, when Swami Vivekananda said I, it was a cosmic I, the I of everybody, that one consciousness, I am that. But it does not come easily to us. So we have to say, thou my Lord. He says, tuhu, tuhu. And he says, Sri Ramakrishna would teach us that. Because it does not come so easily for us to say that I am everything. And he says, for Vivekananda, he says, Turiyanji says, Ita tar pradhan bhav. For Vivekananda, the default position, let us say, the default position was I am Brahman. For us, our default position is I am this guy, this person. I can push myself into the I am Brahman mode with lots of YouTube lectures and thinking and little meditation guided and all of that, and sort of get it, but it's not natural to me. So it's natural to me to regard that ultimate reality as God. So what is our object of devotion is the same pure consciousness. With a name and a form, it is Krishna for us, or Rama, or Ramakrishna for us, or God of religion.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Where are you?
My name is Shri, here.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have a kindergartner or first grader question.
Those are sometimes the most difficult.
We are talking about big words and awareness and consciousness and all. I just want to know, if I want to find myself, my awareness, how do I start? Like, of course, we say do meditation, do, like a Jainism says, do a parikrama and all those things. Where do I start from to really find why I'm here or what I am or where I want to go?
You're asking many things. As you're asking to find my awareness, to find why I'm here, or what am I going to do.
I want to know only, not even why I'm here. I want to find my awareness.
You want to find that's a good question. I want to find your awareness. That's just like, what I said, being at home and trying to find my way home. The answer to that is, in one word, listen. If we are saying that I want to find my awareness, then I'm not listening. Would you ever say, what's your name? Shri. So would you ever say, I need to find Shri? You'd say, no, I'm here. Would you say that, tell me the simplest way to find my body? Say, no, it's here. You will never ask that. Then will you ever ask, my name? How will I know my name? I am Shri, but how will I know my name? You just told me. What I'm trying to say is, all of this is happening in awareness. You're thinking of awareness as something else. No, forget the awareness. Just, I'm talking about Shri. Is Shri there now or not? You doubt, you have some doubts whether you're there or not? After listening to me, you shouldn't have any more doubts. No. The way to do it is to continuously attend to our experiences. Are you there or not? Forget awareness. Forget the word awareness. Are you there right now or not?
I honestly question more than whether I'm here or not. What is the mix? What is the step? How we find the higher power? How do we find...
What is power? What is higher? What is the lower power? No. It's something that you want to ask. You must refine the question. I can work with you all afternoon. I'm sure at one point you will get a precise question. Because there is something that you want to ask. My answer to your question is listen. If that doesn't work, do 10,000 japa daily. No, really. At the end of a week or 2 weeks, again listen. If that doesn't work, make this mala, pushpa mala, flower garlands for the deity in any temple. Give. Daily we work at it. Offer, cook and offer food to the deity. Something physically. Then sit and quietly repeat. Focus on the japa mantra. 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Then listen again. The truth is very simple, too simple. That's why we're missing it. I'm giving you the answers to your question. What should I do? Karma, upasana, jnana. Action, spiritualized action, meditation, and then come to this. You know what this is called? What we have been doing, Upanishads, Vedanta, another name for is Shruti Shikhara, the mountain top of the Vedas. This is the final point. One master said, you know what it's like, what you are talking about? It's like this. Somebody tells you that there is a diamond needle on top of that mountain. Go find it. Go find it. To find it, you need these instructions. You have to go up on the western side of the mountain, go up about halfway, there is a huge boulder. Can you see? Yeah, I can see. It looks like a pebble. You have to go up there. Near that boulder, there is the one last tree, which is surviving on that high altitude. Then go to the tree. In front of that, you will find a big root grabbing onto the ledge. See where the root disappears into the soil. At that point, you will find a few small pebbles. Remove those pebbles. Inside that, you will find a diamond pin. You see the diamond pin. Until that point, climbing the west side of the mountain, that rock, that the tree, then the root, then those pebbles, and then there will be a diamond pin. And then when you finally see the diamond pin, that's what we are talking about now. But the rest of it, if I'm standing at the bottom of the mountain, I need all the rest of the instructions, which is karma, which is upasana, all of these other things, meditation, work, all of these things are necessary. Otherwise, it will seem very theoretical. It isn't theoretical, but it will seem very theoretical. To those who get it, it's the most obvious of all facts. It's just all the time. It's the only fact there is. It's the one fact upon which all other facts depend. Yeah. Then next.
Swamiji, my name is Shyam. So I have a question on the dark space example. So you mentioned that, to our limited senses, the universe is mostly darkness, and it takes an object like a comet to reflect that light. So if I shift that analogy to the Atman or the self, it's beyond our limited senses to comprehend our inner light, right? Mm. So do we need an object or a mirror to reflect that inner light?
Yes, that's a good question. And it's a good question because I've had the answers. That's why it's a good question. There's one of the oldest and most prestigious journals in philosophy is called Mind. It's published by Cambridge, I think, the philosophy department, Cambridge or Oxford. It's pretty old, more than 150 or 200 years old. So once, in one of the articles, they had a very humorous section on ways to handle difficult questions. Philosophers, so when students ask questions to the professor, so there was, I think, 10 ways or something. One way was, if there's a difficult question you don't know, so what you say is, good question, but to understand that, first we must understand this question. And then you ask a question which you know the answer to, and spend all the time answering that question, then move on to the next question. Or there was immediately showered praises on the questioner. Wonderful question. That's exactly what should be asked. This is the thing which people don't ask. I'm so glad you've asked it. Do it that for 5 minutes and move on to the next question. Or they'll say, you can be, the one last thing was, you can choose to be honest and admit that you don't know it, but don't, it says footnote, don't do it too often because they'll think you are a good person but useless. But here, actually, I have the answer. And this is a very subtle question. When we say, I am the light, which can never be objectified, but that light, that consciousness, plus an object, like a thought, like a sensation, like a physical object outside, like the body, then only we have an experience. Consciousness plus object is equal to experience. Is this equation understandable? Consciousness plus object is equal. You are aware, and you are aware of something. Then only you have an experience. If you remove that something, then you either will have no experience or you will have the experience of the absence of all things. That also is possible. All right. But then the question arises what he has asked. In that case, for consciousness to reveal itself, it always needs an object. Or in a more subtle way, even the absence of an object. So isn't consciousness dependent on something else? Let me put it this way. Consciousness, what does consciousness do for objects? And what do the objects do for consciousness? Use the light metaphor or analogy. So in darkness, there are many objects. You light, switch on a light. What does the light do for those objects? It illumines, it reveals those objects. What do the objects do for light? It manifests the existing light. The comet example, there's a light streaming through space between the sun and our planet. But when the comet passes through that space, then you see that that place is lit up. So the pre-existing light was manifested by the comet. But the comet was lit up by the light. So light illumines objects, but the objects manifest light. So light needs the objects need the light. Objects need light for illumination. And the light, in one sense, needs the objects to reveal itself, to manifest itself. So is consciousness like that? Then consciousness needs the universe, needs the body, needs the mind. Then only it becomes. This is the position of Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy. It says consciousness and nature, Prakriti and Purusha, they are interdependent on each other. Advaita Vedanta, I'll give two answers. One prima facie and then some deeper, subtler one. Advaita Vedanta says, true, but in our system, that which is nature, that which is object, is also consciousness. You remember that sevenfold reduction, Chinmatra Murtai? Through Maya, consciousness is appearing as its own object. Just as you, the dreamer, you appear as your own objects in your dreams. In your dreams, only you are there, but so many other people appear. So many other places appear, so many activities appear. They are all you, the subject. Similarly, consciousness appears as the object. In that case, consciousness is not dependent on anything external to itself. It seems to be an external. What it illumines is nothing but itself. It's an appearance in consciousness. And there's a lot of argument to prove this. The relevant section is called Adhyasa Bhashya. In Shankaracharya's introduction to the Brahma Sutras, there is an essay, one of Shankara's master works. It is said, there he asks this question, can consciousness actually illumine objects? If objects are entirely different from consciousness, how would they interact? The light example does not hold. Light is material. These objects are material, and light can be reflected from these objects. It's matter interacting with matter. But if consciousness is not matter, then how does it even experience matter? Where will they interact? Where will they meet? It's like the same problem of mind-body dualism in Descartesian philosophy of mind. How will two entirely different things interact? So the answer is they cannot. And yet if they seem to interact, because it seems I'm consciousness and I'm interacting with body, mind and world. It seems I'm interacting. I'm aware of the mind, I'm aware of the body, I'm aware of the senses, I'm interacting with the world. If consciousness seems to be interacting with the world, then that interaction is a case of superimposition, falsity. They are actually not two. There is actually only one thing. And the other thing is that same one thing appearing to be different from itself. So, Advaita Vedanta claims when consciousness and matter seem to interact, it's actually consciousness which is there and matter is an appearance in that consciousness, very much like a dream. In your dream, you say, I am there, but there are people and rocks and mountains and rivers and sky and other people. How can mind interact with rocks and mountains and sky in a dream? The answer is, there are really no rocks and skies and people and other, things in the dream. Only mind is there. But it appears like that and then seems to inhabit a world. Similarly, consciousness appears as its own object, and then there is no problem in principle because it's also consciousness, this world. Chinmatra Murti, consciousness only, even if it appears to be non-conscious. Okay, this is one answer. It's a mainstream answer. But there's a subtler answer, and this I'm taking from a master who lived in Kerala in the 1940s, 50s, Atmananda Krishna Menon. At one point he says, those who think that consciousness depends upon the object for its manifestation have not understood the nature of consciousness. This is a very subtle point. It requires deep non-dual meditation to appreciate consciousness is full in itself. Even without the so-called object, it's still clear to itself. Not that it is illumining itself. There's no other language to explain it. Sri Ramakrishna's words are there. Bodhe bodhkara. There is, language breaks down. But it's clear to the enlightened one that you actually don't need objects, whether real objects or even projected objects, objects projected by Maya. Consciousness is ever clear to itself. Yeah. On that mysterious note, we should wrap it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, March.
Yes.
And thank all of you for coming. We have lunch for everyone. Please join us for lunch. And if you want to hear Swami Sarvapriyananda some more, you're in luck. He'll be speaking here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And it's a series of classes, obviously. The titles of the topics are Infinity, Realizing Infinity, and Infinite Bliss. So I expect we'll probably be seeing many of you.
Infinite people.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, Jaima.